Hey everyone, it is Mark for the Gun Guy channel, and today we are talking about a gun I used to think was pointless, or at least aimless, because of the super tiny sights. But now, I actually kind of like it. And that gun is the Bersa Thunder 380cc, which stands for conceal carry, or yes, if you speak Spanish, and like small concealable pistols. And we're going to take a look at this pistol right after this. Hey everyone, it's Mark again, and a while back I was talking about guns that just didn't work for me. Guns I regretted spending time with. It was kind of like how I felt about spending 8 years watching the Game of Thrones only to have the three-eyed raven be named king. Really? That's how you're going to end this series? Really? The Bersa Thunder 380cc was kind of like my Brandon Stark. Too snappy, too plain, and honestly, I just didn't care for it. I thought it was a cheap version of the Walther PPK, kind of a knockoff.
I told you it's difficult to explain.
But then I went back to the range with it, and guess what? It started to make sense to me, and I started liking it a lot. So much that we're doing this video, and I've started to carry it every now and then. So I've worked it into my carry rotation, as the more professional gun reviewers say.
Is that what they say?
In today's video, I'm going to walk you through why I changed my mind about this gun, a super quick history of Bersa and the Thunder series, what makes the 380cc different from the regular Thunder 380. We'll go over the specs, some of the quirks, and of course we'll shoot it, and finally I'll tell you how it performs and what I feel about this gun. But before we dive into that, if you could give us a thumbs up, subscribe, drop a comment, it really does help support the channel, and it's a free way of keeping us going and bringing you more content. Also, as always, I've added some chapter markers so you can skip to the part that interests you most. But if you don't want to skip around, let's get right into the history of this gun. Now, for those of you who don't like sitting through our history sections, you are in luck, because we've already done a pretty extensive history of Bersa in a different video, and we're going to put a link to that somewhere, so look for something that's popping up right about now. So we're just going to put that link for you, and if you're interested, you can hop over there and check out the whole history of Bersa. If not, here's the Cliff Notes version of it, and remember, please take notes. There will be a quiz later. Bersa was founded by 3 Italian immigrants who immigrated to Argentina post-World War II. Now, the founders were 3 Italian tool and die wizards named Benzo Bonadimi, Ercole Montini, and Savino Caselli. Yeah, I know those are probably not how you say all 3 names. Feel free to leave rude comments about how I said it down below.
That is rude, and this conversation is over.
They started Bersa in 1958 after immigrating to Argentina. Montini had previously worked at Beretta, and interesting side note, Bersa actually comes from the initials of all of their names. So Bersa rolled out the Thunder name across all of its platforms pretty much in 1994. Now these included the Thunder 22, Thunder 9, Thunder 40, Thunder 45, and yes, the gun that we're looking at, the Thunder 380. While most people think of the gun as a value Walther PPK clone, including myself by the way, at least that's how I used to look at it, it also has some elements of the Beretta Model 70, which was produced from 1958 to 1985, and the SIG 230, which came out in 1977. In regard to the Thunder 380 lineup, there are a couple of different models and color variations, so pack a lunch and get ready. Now, the dates that I'm going to give you in regard to the releases on these various guns are kind of jumbled because honestly it was really hard for us to find information on them. So the exact dates were harder to find than a pro-Second Amendment Democratic senator in Washington.
Blunt, Rochester, Durbin.
Let's start with the beginning in the original, and that was the Thunder 380 single stack, and it came out in 1995. So this was the original double action, single action blowback model, and it kicked off the 380 Thunder line. Next came, supposedly, the Thunder 380 CC or conceal carry. Now, some claims are conflicting on when this came out. Some say late 90s, others say 2006. I don't know because I didn't have the gun at either time. Then came the Thunder 380 Plus, which was basically a double stack 380, and it increased the capacity to 15+1. That came out sometime around 2000. It was a much thicker gun, by the way. And then came the Thunder 380 Combat, which was a single stack combat trim. This came out supposedly sometime around 2012. It had rounded, dehorned features, rubber wrap grips, and combat sights. Then came the Thunder 380 Combat Plus, which was a double stack combat trim, which had a capacity of 15+1, and this debuted at the SHOT Show 2016. Then there is also the Thunder 380 with a threaded barrel. This came out in 2019, and the Thunder 380X, which is the current catalog model of the threaded barrel 380, and this came out in 2024. Again, please don't hold me to these dates. They're about as accurate as my pronunciation of the names of the people who founded Bersa. Then finally, because California needs its own special gun, there is the Firestorm 380, which is a California compliant cousin to the Thunder 380 series, and it's basically assembled from the same parts with a few cosmetic and compliance-specific tweaks. It's essentially a Thunder 380 at its heart, rebranded and modified for specific state legal requirements so that you can have this gun in California. Now, the prices range on these models from around $230 upwards of $340. What did I pay for the gun that we are about to review? I don't remember. But I think it was right around $250, and the current MSRP on the Bersa Conceal Carry is $346. That being said, let's take a look at what's in the box. All right, so let's take a look at what's in the box. And again, this box is almost a decade old, so I don't know if they're still doing stuff like this. We'll clear the gun, so it's empty and empty. There we go. Up, and we can start with that. This has a magazine disconnect, so anyhow, the only thing of note that really came in the gun was this, which is for the frame lock on the gun. Other than that, there is the manual and some paperwork that was relevant at the time that we got this gun. That being said, we're going to make this go away and poof. All right, so as I said, there is a frame lock on this specific gun, and the key, which was in the box and will stay in the box forever, operates it so that you can turn it on or off. It's kind of akin to what Smith & Wesson has in the Hillary hole, which seems to upset people quite a bit. I don't know why. It's if you don't like it, just don't use it. That's kind of what I do. Anyhow, this gun is chambered in 380 ACP, and the action is a double single. This really, even though it's kind of a Walther type looking PPK gun, reminds me of a Beretta 92F, because that's the kind of decocking mechanism that it has. It is a double action, single action. And what that means is that, like a revolver, when it is ready to be fired, you can pull it and you have a very long trigger pull, which cocks the hammer and fires, or when in single action, if the gun is cocked after the initial pull, you have a very short, crisp single pull. In regard to the barrel length on this gun, it is 3.2 inches. Overall weight is 18.4 ounces unloaded. Now I'm guessing that is with the magazine in it, Oops. No, so this gun is actually with the magazine coming in at 17.71 ounces, so it's slightly less than what's reported. The overall width on this gun is 1 inch, and that actually makes this the thinnest of all of the Thunder 380 lineup. So I have a Thunder 380 Combat Plus just as a reference for size, and you will see that it is substantially thicker than the CC model. Even the barrel seems somewhat thicker. It is definitely taller, a taller gun and a longer gun, which is why this is the concealed carry model. The sights on this specific gun are very tiny. Now, they show up much better on camera than I think they do in real life, and perhaps it's because we've got a ton of light flooding this whole area right here. So that probably illuminates the white dots better. But these, if you look at the profile, are challenging to say the least. Now, you can get used to them, and once you are used to them, the gun shoots fine. And I will say this, the sights actually help with precision, in my opinion. I think it's the small sights, aim small, miss small. So I think that has a little something to do with this specific gun. These are not night sights or glow sights. They're just white dot. Now, the safeties that are built into this gun, kind of as we talked about, there is a magazine, disconnect safety. So that's not going anywhere if the magazine is out. Some people hate that feature. I don't know why, but I haven't ever been caught in a position where that really matters to me. The safety is not ambidextrous. It is on the left side of the gun, so it's built for righties. And it is very, very akin to the Beretta 92F model. So it is a decocker and a safety. And what that means is that when the hammer is back, if you want to carry this, you don't want to carry it in this fashion, right? So you can decock it. Now, with it decocked and in this position, the safety is engaged, and you can pull it all day long and the gun will not go boom. So to engage the trigger so that you can fire it, you have to disengage the safety, and now you are in a double action for your first pull, and it would be single action after that. So that is how the safety works on this. And again, very similar to the Beretta 92F. It would not be similar to the G models because the G models are simply decockers as opposed to a safety decocker. In regard to the trigger pull on this, it is surprisingly smooth for a double action. I mean, it's really nice. It doesn't catch. It doesn't feel particularly gritty. So let's see what that comes out at. And someone actually said I was pulling this far too fast.
Click, click.
So I was cheating in giving the gun a better trigger pull. So we're going to try and go pretty slow. And we came out with 7.7 ounces. That's 7 pounds, 7 ounces, by the way. All right, and we will do that again. £7, 13.7 ounces. One more time. £7, 4.8 ounces. And now, just because I'm really curious, I'm going to pull it fast to see if I have been cheating for all the guns that we have. And £5, 12.9 ounces. So I have been cheating. I'm sorry, that's why the gun companies send me the big bucks. Liar! That's a joke, YouTube. Please do not ban us. Anyhow, in regard to the single action, you can see that there's a little bit of space before you hit the wall and a bit of creep, but it's a really nice, crisp trigger. And again, for the money on this gun, the double action and the single action are actually really, really nice. The reset on this gun is a bit. So you have a nice audible reset, but it's out there, right? So we're going to take it and, yep, it almost goes to a 6 o'clock position to reset. And let's see what the trigger pull is on the single action. £3, 12.1 ounces. £3, 13.4 ounces. And 3 pounds, 13.2 ounces. So right around, 3 pounds and some change. And again, really, really nice trigger on this specific gun. Moving on to the magazine release. It's pretty comfortable. Like you do have to change your grip slightly, right? Or at least I do, given my hand size. So I need to break my wrist and bring it forward. So that would take a little bit more time if you need a quick magazine release. The grips on this gun are pretty thin and they don't appear to have a ton of texturing, but honestly, I find these grips really, really comfortable. Now, in regard to this specific gun, and this is one of the drawbacks or complaints that some people have, is sometimes you'll get slide bite on this gun, as you would, with a lot of the smaller guns. If you get a really high grip, it's going to run a risk of cutting the hand. So what I do with this gun is I just get a little bit lower grip, and you should be fine with something like that. I just wouldn't grab this particularly high, and you can avoid that. But again, as far as the grip, the way that it feels, it's really, really nice in my hand. Now, there are some serrations on the trigger, there are some serrations on the hammer. So if you wanted to carry it, again, decocked, you're in a double, see, you gotta take the safety off. If you wanted to carry it like that, when you pulled and presented, you could turn it into a single action upon presentation. Or you could just do the, traditional double action first pull, and it would be single action after that for the rest of the magazine, which I'm not sure if we said it or not, but this gun holds 8+1. So to take this gun apart, pull down on that lever, back, lift up, and this supposedly goes forward like that. Oops. But I always have a little bit of trouble with this, so I wiggle it. That's really it. Then to put it back, much easier for me. Just bring it, slide it, and it goes right back into place. Now, this is a fixed barrel, as you saw, which is traditional on all blowback guns. So now that we know how to take this apart, kind of, and put it back together even better, let's see how it shoots at the range.
You just got jammed.
Which is one of the complaints with this gun, actually.
You just got jammed.
I wonder if that's the same bullet that keeps jamming. Because that would have been the last one, so not the first. Okay. It is that bullet, I think. Let's see. So my final thoughts. I really like shooting this gun way more now than I did 5 or 6 years ago. 5 or 6 years ago, I thought it was harsh, fussy, hard to aim, and now I really kind of enjoyed shooting it. Why? Well, I think it's because, number one, I hadn't spent time with truly snappy blowback classics, high PPK. And after that, the CC model feels pretty civilized. Also, and this is probably the primary reason, experience really does help. So I would, and I have started to carry this in my carry rotation, and I feel comfortable with that. Now, that being said, there are certain reports of reliability issues. The gun was actually pretty reliable for me. Now, when I originally shot it the very first time, I did have a couple of stovepipes. However, I attributed that to the fact that the gun basically sat untouched in a safe, dirty, for the better part of 10 years. So when you look at that and how I treated the gun, it really performed pretty well. Once it's cleaned, the gun performed flawlessly for me. But because of those reliability issues, if you are going to carry this gun, I would definitely take it to the range, shoot the ammo that you're planning on carrying, and get very comfortable with it so that you know that your specific gun doesn't have any jamming problems. As a pocket or waistband gun, I think the CC is an excellent model. I can carry this in my pocket. I have a specific holster that I ordered that allows me to do that. So I think it definitely serves its purpose. It's light, it's small, it's very concealable. Would I hand it to a total beginner? Maybe not. The sight picture is challenging for a beginner shooter, and the blowback can feel very snappy, which might frustrate a beginning shooter. But for shooters with a little bit of time behind a double action, single action, the CC model is a very solid pick. I think that for a beginner, I might recommend the P365 380, which shoots infinitely softer than this gun, or even the Ruger Security 380, which does also have far less recoil. But the Security 380 and the same with the Smith M&P Easy are bigger and heavier, albeit not by much. Now, the CC pricing comes in right around $250 online. The SIG comes in around $500. The Security 380, $260. But you have to remember, this gun is much smaller than the Security 380, which is basically a full-size gun. Similar with the Smith Easy 380, and you can pick that up around the $340 range. So if you're looking for a budget concealed carry in 380, I really do think that the Thunder 380cc is an excellent choice. So I am starting to like this series by Bersa so much that we're going to grab a lot more of their guns.
I want the world. I want the whole world.
We're going to test those. We're going to line them up. We're going to compare them in brand as well as with other brands. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give us a thumbs up, drop a comment. Do you have a Thunder 380cc or one of the other models, and do you carry it? Would you trust it? Anyhow, leave us a comment. I'll see you next time on the Gun Guy channel. Have a good week.